'Cause I feel like that going viral. If you mad young, right? If you like before
But if you
a
don't know how to
teenager,
sustain it, if you don't know how to keep it up,
That's
then
true.
it ain't no point.
chasing that though sound even like dangerous. That's a hell of a drug. Fame a hell of a drug. 15 minutes.
Not when you just doing it. A lot of people, Vine, we wasn't doing it to be famous. We was
that
doing
was just the
we was
way.
doing it because we just like to do it.
Mm.
But then when you start monetizing on stuff like that, and you
That's
figure
what
out,
it is.
and people figure out, oh, this is a business. You are a brand. Like Bevy Smith, taught me that. Like, and she taught the world that. She started that whole, you are the brand, and it's more than just Gucci's the brand, and Nike's the brand, and Kroger's the brand, Kellogg's the brand. No, you yourself, you're the brand.
Right.
But we were just getting into that around the Vine days. So now you can capitalize on all of that with the Facebook, the Instagrams, the TikTok, all that stuff.
Do you have one that you like to gravitate to more than the others?
Instagram. Yeah.
IG.
Yeah, cause
Yeah, Instagram, the sneaky link, you ain't never getting rid of her.
My wife hates Instagram. Hate Instagram. You always with that dick. Hey, baby.
Every time I turn around,
Every time I turn around, you
I
on
went to the
Instagram.
bathroom. I was going for 7 minutes.
you get notifications.
All night. All night. All I hear is your Instagram.
Every time I get seen on, I got grand when I feel like I got caught doing something. I'm like, oh, hey, man.
Hey, man, you're right. You gotta put your phone down every time your girl come in. Shit, she always catch me. That's how you know you own it too much. When you gotta put it down when
Hey, you
somebody's
switch
catching
the other way
you.
around, you come around the corner and your girl be like, oh, hey. He's like, hey, who you talking to? Hey, what you?
Hey, I'll throw the phone I'll throw the whole phone on the couch. Hey, what's going on? Hey, baby, let me take you to the kitchen. It still be playing. You be like, damn it, why did I throw the phone? She hear it. She like, hey, it's always pull up on me.
Pull up on
Pull up
me.
all the way on me.
Now you straight from the south side. Mike, now you. I'm just so happy to be here right now. Real Rap Podcast.
Ah, man. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, we are back. Another episode of the Real Rap Podcast, your number one source for entertainment news and interviews. I have very special panel with me today. We got Rookie and the Legend in the building. So we're going to get right into it so we can get down to this little talkie because I got a lot I want to know about and pick their minds on. So first to my media, right, I had a man, the myth, the legend, Robert Kane. If you wouldn't mind, man, filling the people in real quick on where you from, the name of your game, man. How long you been in the game?
Man, I appreciate the legend title. It's amazing. I don't deserve it yet, but I do like Dolly Parton. I want to reject my Hall of Fame status. I don't want no comics out there getting mad at me.
What do you think?
But you know,
You trying to get a spot?
Yeah, I love it. I know, right? Trying to get booked. But I love it. It's cool, you know. I've been doing comedy off and on probably about 20 years.
Okay.
Let's say I started in 2000 when my son was born, and I did it for about 12 years. Quit for about 12 years, and then I've been back for about 4.
Quit and then came back. I had a little drought of that myself. Where you hailing from?
I'm Markham, Illinois, you know, by way of South Suburbs. If I was out of town, Chicago.
Okay. Hell yeah, you done traveled around. That's what's up. And to my left, I have rookie MVP status.
Man.
Joy Gamby, if you wouldn't mind filling the folks in. How long you been in the game? Where you from? What you got going on real quick?
All right. So hello everyone, and hello my TikTok. So I've been doing comedy for a year now. And I'm from Chicago. I'm from Inglewood. I'm a hood book in this piece.
All right.
We can cuss, but yeah, I'm from Inglewood, Chicago, Illinois, born and raised, and yeah, I just love doing stand up.
You know what? I didn't actually know that about you. but I seen you around and you doing your thing. But tell you what, I want to get right into it because we touched on it, and while it's still on my mind, I want to find out what's what. As a collective, as a people, are we Team DL or Team Monique?
Oh, jeez.
I'm
I'm
gonna
gonna
go
let the
ahead.
lady go first.
Oh, okay.
Because I think I just heard some more business this morning. Boy, it's every day. Every day.
Every day.
Listen. Okay, look. I'm team.
Oh.
First of all, I'm team comedy. Okay.
See, that's why
So-
Joy's MVP,
That's why
rookie
she
of the
is.
year,
I'm
because
for
she's so
real.
political.
Yeah, she's smart.
She
I'm team
got it. She got it
comedy.
early.
She's smart.
I feel as though we can all make better choices with how we do any and everything that we do.
Yeah.
But I'm never opposed to somebody taking up for themselves. In the way that they do it. I don't think other people should dictate that. And I believe in boundaries and all of that stuff, self-care. But at the end of the day, everybody's an adult. And would I have done that the way that they did it? I'm not sure because I'm not in that position. So I'm not in the predicament to judge their actions. But what I can say is I believe that at the end of the day, it's millions of people looking in on the comedy family, but we still a family. And I think at the end of the day, just like a regular family, Mo can talk about DL, DL can talk about Mo, but everybody else should just shut up and keep their opinions out of it. And if you have an opinion, tell your friends. If you have an opinion, tell your family. But stop trying to make your opinion law or a fact. Because at the end of the day, if these people reconcile, then you going to be looking stupid.
Let me ask you this to that point, right? Because I wholeheartedly agree with you. If it's other folks' business,
Right.
if you hop on radio stations and the gram and then air your business out, is that not kind of opening the door to asking the public for their opinion, do you think?
I believe that the public should be wise, though, with their opinion and where they place their opinion. Especially these comedians that don't have two legs to stand on. Focus on the funny. Focus on getting booked. Focus on being so important that Shade Room want to know your fallouts and all of that other stuff. I believe that our priorities are in the wrong place, and that's why we don't have enough headliners.
Man.
Next season, the Power Alderman Gamby is going to be the
Yeah,
fire.
he is on.
All right, so
the
now,
youngest alderman on Power.
So with with that fine dissertation, I want to know from trifling ass Robert, who's being messy? What are they ass being messy?
In the words of the great Marlon Mitchell, fuck all that. Hey, look, no, I think it's comedy, right? So you got egos, and all comedians got egos. It's a very big ego-driven world. And the thing is, you know, you got two headliners, and they gonna battle for who gonna be on top, man. And it's a wonderful competition.
Yeah.
I love it. When comedians roast, I think she roasted the hell out of him. I think he should have roasted her back. You know, it's a comedy game. I bet if they wasn't on their pedestals, if they was on our levels, they would have roasted each other.
If they was in the green room,
it would have been
handled
over.
in the night.
You know what I'm saying? So they just, I think the public making more of it than it is. Comedians, I think DL was, you know, he was being sensitive, but you know, he had to take an L on it. He thought he was on top. And he wasn't. So take the LD, you know what I'm saying? You already got it in your name. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. So other than that, you know, you should have known DL was gonna trip. You see, he getting old, man. He can't even remember he was a headliner.
Yeah. When he started wearing like handkerchiefs around his suit.
Ascot. Rubber bud, nigga.
What? It was over for
When that nigga had cufflinks with his initials, I said, "Oh nah." He getting sensitive. He said, "Leave my dog's pedigree out your motherfucking mouth."
Pedigree. Oh my God.
Oh no, DL.
No, not
I'll
today.
tell you what. When she said, hey, it's all good that you open for the Kings of Comedy and I close for the Queens of Comedy.
That's hilarious.
I was like, yeah.
Hey,
She was.
Hey.
She was playing street ball and he was doing layup drills.
Hey, he ain't ready. She been in
That's
the
comedy,
she been
I
in the
was about to
field.
say, and she from the ghetto.
She been in the
Yeah,
field.
She had to claw her way to this point.
Yeah.
So not only did she withstand like childhood stuff, right? But then getting into an industry that she worked hard to get into.
Oh, yeah.
That she earned her stripes in. She's been in battles before. I don't even think that this thing with DL. I think this is because you got a little free time, and it's because it's something that I want to do.
Yeah.
But this ain't no battle. Mother done been in larger issues with there's money, millions involved on the table.
Yeah.
You know, so you don't want to scrap with no hood. You know.
They say that all publicity good publicity, and yeah, we paying attention to them. We saying their name. I just don't want golden fruit to turn rotten. You know what I mean?
Golden
like,
fruit.
yeah, like I mean, right now that they name, was buzzing. People was talking about them. I don't know
So they need to
necessarily
go on tour
the
together.
last time. Yeah,
They need to go on a tour together.
What?
Yeah.
If they went on the
If he really wasn't a hater though, see, this is the thing,
Okay.
A lot of I don't want to say it, but this is why I promote female comedians so much, because a lot of the male comics do not want to give these female comics they respect, bro. And honestly, you could throw these females up head to head with some of the greatest, and I promise you, some of these females gonna come out.
I will put the top female Chicago comedians against anybody in
now
the
there's
nation.
some dudes that can't nobody fuck with. We already know. Tony
Yeah.
Roberts, we got you. You
Tony
hands
Roberts
down. You
is
will be.
legend.
Some people we just know, but I'm just saying when it come to headliners, they try to dismiss the female. But think about most audiences be about 85% females. It's not 50% females. Most audiences is male and a female. And we males, we dominate the industry, but females, man, I'm trying to tell y'all, man, they are the most hilarious across the country. And if they ever really get their power in, we all in trouble. That's all I'm saying.
Bro, if you got an audience that's 98% male, you in county. Something went wrong. You in a jumpsuit. You just woke up from a concussion.
Hey, some shows do be full of hard legs. I be walking right up out of them joints like, hey.
Yeah, most definitely. You know what? I didn't even stop to consider it. I do think, DL getting a little sensitive in it. But if they was to go on tour together with this energy, and they came out to R. Kelly and Sparkle. What was that? You better watch what you. If that was the intro. Wait a minute. Let me finish.
What the hell is going on? Stupid.
Oh, yeah.
Stupid.
Off of college. Hold on, where was I at? And I've been I'm trying to stay up to date with this and get other people's opinions on what's happening in the news lately. And that kind of puts me in other people's business. But again, my feeling is if you're going to put your business out there to be opinionated on, I'm going to go ahead and air my opinion out because I need these likes, shares, subscribes. Hey, so if you have the money, the means, the residence to make it happen, do you have a problem with somebody having Nick Cannon amounts of kids?
You know me, I'm the youngest of 15 brothers and sisters. I come from a huge family, and that's just one side. So, I would say it was a generation of like grandparents, they used to have, my grandmama had like 18 brothers and sisters. Like literally, I got a huge family. So maybe he just genes from a, he spawned from a big family,
A thing to do at some point in time.
Yeah, back in the
sure.
day. Yeah.
What you think?
I think that the money has nothing to do with it because, like he said, our ancestors was having 20 kids apiece. You know what I'm saying? I think my concern would be him being able to effectively give of himself, not his money, not his means, but give of himself to all of the children. Because it's not like, now listen, Granddaddy now was having 12 kids, but with one woman.
Yeah.
So he was in the one household, and granted, it might have been two households, and he was splitting his time up, because
Fair
some
enough.
niggas was
Right,
like
right.
that. Miss Pearl was down the street.
Granddaddy had another.
Yeah, down the street.
Guaranteed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
On
another
the
baby.
block.
He didn't have Instagram getting in the way.
no
Tattletaling on him.
phones or nothing.
Hello.
He had it. Yeah.
So he was doing it, but again, it wasn't several households and several women.
Yeah.
But he didn't have several million either.
He didn't have several million.
Your
but
grandpa
I think,
several thousand. He would have had a bunch of more kids.
But I think the quality of the relationship is better than the quantity of what you can give a child.
I don't even think of really. I mean, Nick Cannon's schedule. Again, I'm not in Buddy Camp, but his schedule. The direction you're headed, hopefully the direction I'm headed, you're not gonna have too much time if you got two kids in one household to be around, because you're going to be traveling. How many stages you rocking in different states?
I know, right?
I mean, I see you out and about, and then you not only on this side, you on, like you said, the play side, so you doing your thing with your church groups and all that. And then when you sprinkle Superstardom 2-3 shows, daytime talk show when he had it, how much time do you got just to raise one household?
Well, a lot of his
You out and
stuff,
about.
a lot of his stuff is produced by him. It's in-house too, so I know he got a studio in his backyard too, where they do doing Wild 'N Out sometimes. So
not bad.
when you got big money and you own a production company,
don't
it's
he got
easy
his-
to keep your kids together. When we broke, and I mean, you seen the Southwest flight? Yes, me and my son not gonna see each other this week if I got one show anywhere, cause it's $600 to fly places now.
Yeah.
It ain't just 200 round trip no more. So it's rough out here. So if you got that money bag, it's a lot easier to take them trips. And he got a plane. You see the incredible plane?
I
He got
you
a
know
whole
what?
plane.
Got a whole plane.
He got a whole
I say, go
plane.
ahead.
If I had that Nick Cannon money, boy, wifey, don't listen. I'm gonna cover your ears. I would have so many kids.
That's interesting. I mean it feels like a borderline addiction to me, because it's not an accident, right?
What God say? Be fruitful and
Oh,
multiply. And then the Bible also say, if you can afford them, you can have them.
Yeah.
If you can afford a family, it's in the Bible.
Baby, we take so much out of context when it comes to that word, honey.
It's in there though. Hey, go read it. I bet you'll find it.
But never mind. We're not gonna get into it.
Yeah,
No,
do that.
we can't never mind on this show. Yeah, hey, no. Are you gonna do that on campaign trail when you're going out for these votes?
Come on, Deacon Gamby. Let's Deacon. Let's
I'm
go.
gonna just say this. I'm gonna just say this, and I'm gonna leave it there.
All right.
I am.
You do see in the word where men were successful, right? But they were not successful fathers.
Ooh. That's
you
heavy.
know,
That's
and
heavy.
I'd rather my legacy and my lineage benefit from my lifestyle as well. So that's why I do my best to be healed and to be whole, so that my children won't just get money, but they'll also get a whole mother.
Sure.
So you see it in the Bible where it says that children benefited from people's relationship with God. So Abraham, many sons after that. The Lord took him to the beach. You see that saying? That's how many sons you're going to have on the sun. Look up, look to the stars. That's how many sons, right? But then you also see where Eli, his whole family was cursed. Everybody died except for one baby. Why? Because he was a terrible father. And God began to judge his house because he didn't do what he needed to do. But what was he? He was a good priest. Right? He had money.
Hallelujah.
But when everybody died, where did all of that land and stuff go? To somebody else who won wars or something like that. All of his hard work because he was not a good father. I'm not saying that it's wrong. I'm just saying be good at both. And I don't know if Nick Cannon is not a great... From what we know, he's a great father.
I'm not insinuating none of that.
Yeah. So I'm just saying, I just hope
Facts.
everybody gets it all. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Facts.
That's also dangerous. I mean, not dangerous, but it's kind of like a common. So from my understandings, I think 83% or so of millionaires are first generation, self-made. Didn't come from money. And I think it's somewhere around 60% billionaires are self-made. So just because you have it and you're raising somebody with means doesn't necessarily, like, if you stop and think about it, who's famous and rich that came from somebody famous and rich?
Shoot,
It's
lot
not
of
too
people.
many.
No, there's still a lot of them.
Zaya Wade.
It's a lot of them, man.
Zaya Wade, famous and rich.
All the Will Smith kids, all of them. Every one of them. They all.
I think them two came from, like, I think they bought them from like Guatemala or something like that.
Nah, they look just like them. I would give you that if they did not look
they
like
look the same, but that's got to be some Scientology business or something like that. I'm not buying it.
What's his name who sang "This Is America"? His mama was famous. Glover. Ain't that Danny Glover's son?
Danny Glover Jr.
I thought that was Childish Gambino.
Yeah, Childish Gambino.
Okay, yeah.
And his mama was the lady from Good Times. I mean, not Good Times.
Florida?
Not Florida. Not Good Times. The mother on the Jeffersons.
What? That's before my time.
Yeah. Something like that.
Ever watch the Jeffersons?
Something like that.
I did, but I didn't
The
watch
remix
it to know.
227?
Yeah. His mama was famous though. She was an actress. That's all I know. So yeah, or his daddy was Danny Glover. One of the two. I don't. I'm just making up shit. You know, they believe me.
Not here, but the way you say it with confidence make me want to believe it.
No, but I know his mama was an actress though. So it's people out there that come for money and
They have inheritance. Now T.I. kids is doing their thing too.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
They are known, but what are they doing to be known for other than being known for being who they are?
No, rapping. T.I.
Stop
kids.
it. Get out of
They
here.
known for
Damani?
Damani is kind of
He-
cold
I was
a little
about to
bit.
say, that boy
is
he's
almost as
cold.
good as his daddy.
He
For
got something
sure.
out?
Huh?
He be saying
Yeah,
as
they
many
got-
syllables as Tip do?
No, hell no.
No,
That's
he
why
don't,
almost.
But he's very
is the word.
prolific. Like
Oh,
that.
okay.
That like he's decent. And his father. And then you got Lil Wayne daughter too.
Oh yeah, Lil Wayne daughter. Is
She got a
That's how I know I'm
show.
getting old, because I just know the parents. I don't even
Lil
know
Wayne
what the
daughter,
kids do.
Tammy Roman's daughter.
Oh, Tammy Roman daughter. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah, she do.
Actually, that does something that's been in my mind. It's a pleasant thought, if anything. Is for a long time, black folks as a culture, hip hop as a culture has been. I mean, it's still relatively new, but now it's in about its third and a half generation, and now that generational wealth that people are talking about now is actually starting to come into play, because those teenagers are starting to turn into young adults that grew up off of
Like
hip
Lil
hop
Romeo.
success money. You know what I mean? And then they're gonna be coming at things from a black culture, hip hop culture angle, and having an influence over that. I want to say I heard that LeBron James is flirting with the idea of purchasing like an NBA team.
Oh, you talking about the Vegas? The NBA
Yeah.
is gonna do the Las Vegas team, and LeBron want to put his bid in, but he just became a billionaire. I mean, just because they say you a billionaire, don't mean you have $1 billion. That's all assets.
Absolutely
and everything.
right,
So,
Robert Kane.
Like, be careful what you try to buy into, because Michael Jordan, he bought into the what was that, the Wizards, and then he ended up going to Charlotte, and so you know that I would love to see another black owner though.
For sure.
That would be good.
What's it called? Like when you had your family all work for the job that you want. There's like a word for it. I forget what it is, but when you had nepotism. That's what it is.
Nepotism.
That's what a lot of anything
I was
is
gonna say
gonna
a job.
Yeah, how you think I got it?
Right.
My uncle worked there.
That's what you get in trouble for it, but they got papers you can sign and do that though. So if you do it right, you
that's-
can nepotize you all you
Yeah.
want.
Nepotizing.
You can nepotize everybody.
Call me Nepotizer Jenkins.
Call me now.
I only hire my family.
Right.
What's your name? Nappy.
Ain't that what Daly did? Man, Daly hired everybody he know. Goddamn, every cousin you knew was a congressman when Mayor Daley was mayor.
Ooh. Speaking of, and actually, and I'm going based off being around you lately and hearing what you're saying. I believe rest in peace is in order for your kinfolk, for your brother. Yes.
Yeah, I had a brother. He passed away on Friday the 13th. Of renal kidney failure.
Wow.
Yeah, he was my oldest brother. I got a joke I always do about him. We always laugh and joke. He was a roaster, real funny guy.
Okay.
Really fast. The nigga caught a rabbit one time. Like
Whoa.
like ran and caught a fucking rabbit. Like in the
You
field.
mean like Rocky training?
Like no, he wasn't training. He was off that shit, but he caught the rabbit. He caught the shit out that rabbit. We bet him like $3. He couldn't get it. Motherfucker was off like a. And I was a kid. I didn't think he was going. Man, he caught a rabbit. I said, "Hey, hell no."
That's something.
I love my brother, man. Daryl Roy Manson is rest in peace, brother.
Yeah.
We doing his memorial service this Sunday. So yeah, we've been. When you get older, you have to do all the work. You know, like my older brothers and sisters they couldn't do it. So now me becoming the 40-year-old in the family, and I'm the youngest, but it's like they leave a lot of the heavy burdens on to the younger ones now. So when you're gonna start seeing your family gonna rely on you a lot more. So just be prepared to handle your family business. I would say black people, go to the doctor, get yourself taken care of, because we also lost a comedian, a good friend, Marcus Combs, you know. Shout out to Marcus Combs. And he just had his funeral last week. But both, you know, the thing is, as black people, we dying young. And that's because we really, especially black men, we run from the doctor, man. Go to the freaking doctor. Like, if you got a headache for months, go to the doctor. If you got stomach ache for weeks, go to the doctor, man, because some stuff is preventable, and you don't have to really have to go through these things by yourself, man. It's not that serious, because your life really depends on it. We getting old, and a headache ain't just a headache no more when you 50 and 60 years old. Backache ain't just backache no more if it come out the blue when you 50. That ain't how it work, man. So please, if you can, get some help. Make sure you talk to people and just try. You know, aspirins ain't shit. They don't do nothing for you. That's old school. So that's all I would say for my black people, man, because we really dying young, and 50 and 60 is not old enough. You know, we need to live longer. So
Yeah, absolutely. And that's dying young, just dealing with health. For you, Joy, growing up in the wood like that, there's a lot of folks that's dying young for circumstances outside of their health. I know your faith is a big part of who you are. How did that play a role? Was that always a part of your life growing up, or was that something that you incorporated yourself? Or
I have a very, very loving family, so they don't force anything on you.
Okay.
So it's a church, not a church family, because we go to church, right? But it's a love family, you know. So
is other funny people in your family?
My family is pretty entertaining.
Okay.
They're entertaining. My mother's hilarious.
Gotcha.
My mother is
she like one of those people that's funny trying to be funny, or funny trying to be serious?
No, it's like, what, girl? Like, people would love to hear my mama tell stories. Like, 20 of them could be in the room, but they would love for my mother to tell what happened. She's the narrator. And my dad, he does little pun jokes and stuff when he does talk, because he's a very silent man.
See, my mama's a roaster. You come in with your eyebrows like that, oh, my mama she gonna hit you with the what the hell is going on with your face, you know. She a roaster. She'll start with you. She'll laugh. She love it. You know, she called me a black beetle this morning. I'm like, why, Ma? Why? I'm not a beetle. She's like, well, you look like one. Okay, well, fuck you too. But you know, but I love my mama, so I get it. Like, we come from a roasting family, and when your mama is funny, you got no choice but to be funny.
No choice.
Yeah. Absolutely. And then, I mean, growing up where you grew up being funny, that's just like a reflex. Almost everybody in the hood funny to an extent, to a certain degree. But yeah, so when you, being that you're in, you have such a heavy religious aspect to you, and then you do comedy. We're in a filthy business.
Facts.
Damn dirty. How is there any kind of conflict for you? Because typically, if you know somebody that's highly favored and walks the right path, they will strictly just do that. They'll just be like, all right, I'm over here on this side. These are the venues I'm going to do. These are the churches I'm going to do. These are the people I'm going to be with. I see you in the front lines, in the real battlefields out there when it comes to like South Side, West Side comedy. And then you also doing North Side rooms, downtown rooms, whatever. But whenever I see you, out with ganging them, you really outside.
I'm outside. Here's the thing. My foundation is secure and it's set. So
Okay.
it's Jesus Christ all the way for me, right?
Okay.
So no matter where I am, I'm going to represent him. That's the bottom line. So I'm not easily influenced. I came in joy. I'm going to leave here joy, Comedy is just another pathway or area or door, whatever you want to call it, but it's still a part of the assignment. And I think people lose sight of the fact that Jesus was so wonderful. And this is why I love the man so much. He was so wonderful in that he wasn't just at the synagogues. He wasn't just in the churches. He wasn't just in the temples, right? Well, technically, he wasn't in the churches because churches came after him. But anyway, he wasn't just there. That man was everywhere. He was with one of his best, the top 12 was tax collectors. They were not your average men, right? And he was still with them. He still coexisted. That's what made him so powerful. Not that he acted like he was just so high and mighty. That's not the message. That's not the gospel. My job is to show people that Christ can still love you in your mess, and your mess don't offend him. It actually brings you closer to him, right? I'm not here for the religion. I'm not here for whatever. I'm a spiritual person that loves Christ purely. That's still being worked on, right? When I'm in environments with everybody else, I don't consider it. People say for the dark side. It's not because it's not that. You guys are some of the most loving, most loyal, genuine people that I've ever met in my life, right? And we all have things to learn. To teach each other and learn from each other.
Of course, right? Absolutely. A lot of folks have to learn from. If there is a lesson to be learned, is that it is unfortunately mass shooting season.
Crazy.
It's what's crazy is it's not crazy no more.
Yeah.
I could turn it on, see that in my timeline, and scroll to the whatever's coming up next, and just be like, oh, okay, it's another one. You know what I mean? Is that just something we're not gonna get away from? Is there a change to it? Is this just as bad as it is now until the next bad thing happen? You know what I mean?
Well, what they call in mass shootings now is, I think they using that for the narrative. But, before the internet was banging so much, they was killing black folks at mass rates anyway. We was always dying massively. It just is what it is. They've always been shooting up parties. They've always shot up 4 or 5
bombing
people.
churches.
They've always done that to us. They just now calling it mass because it's outside of the black community. Now that they killing white people, it's mass, And they gave the one in Jersey, I guess, what was that, over east, where the 3 guys was fighting, and they shot 4 people. They gave that a mass shooting, but I wouldn't call that a mass shooting. That was a shootout.
Okay.
It was multiple guns, multiple shooters. That's not a mass shooting. That's a shootout. You know what I'm saying? A mass shooting was the young man who went in that school, and he shot a mass amount of people. And you notice black people normally don't do fully mass shootings unless it's like drive-by, then they'll mass shoot the other gang. But that they don't call that. How many times you seen drive-bys in your neighborhood?
That is something I'm
3 or 4
curious
people?
about. Is
You know what I'm
that
saying?
they have
Facts.
different terms for. Something that's always bugged me is how the news won't say the color
Of dude?
of anybody.
That ain't black.
If you watching the news,
Yeah.
and there's a burglary or whatever suspect, they'll say the suspect was on 74th and Damon, and blah 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 blah. Woo, he's expected to be 6'3" in a blue hoodie and brown shoes. But they won't ever say
This
like
white man, this Caucasian man.
right,
Yeah.
or this
Nah.
this Puerto Rican dude, or none of
But
that. They leave it out, and I'm like, why are
African-American.
you leaving it out when that's what you know what I mean? If there was two Robert Kanes and they both did comedy in Chicago, and I was like, hey, you going to a Robert Kane spot? What would you say?
Black or white?
Right.
Black
That's
man
exactly
Exactly.
what you would do
Right.
because that's what's gonna get you to the answer, the quickest answer. And I always wonder like why they do like they leaving it out on purpose because you always gonna be, hey, is it the white side of town? Is it the black garage? Is it the blah 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 blah?
But also listen to how they describe the black person. It's always a suspect. You know, it's always this was even in mass shooting they call him a barricaded something else. They didn't call him. They call him they like he was calm in there barricaded.
They call him a bully victim.
Yeah, they called him everything but the what they would call us a vagrant, a criminal, all kind of other things. They use certain words because that's how the narrative has been played. So the good thing about you having a podcast and us having our own way of speaking and our own way of bringing our own stuff is that we don't have to follow that same narrative. We creating our own, and that's what is beautiful about you creating this lane, you know, and speaking to people and being able to reach a whole different audience that can understand. Because the young people ain't watching the news. They watching podcasts and Instagram and Twitters. And they going to sit here and listen to you. And they not going to sit here and listen to the news. So when we speak, we got to start speaking power, influence on our youth and our generation.
Absolutely.
And our people, you know. Also, we got to be funny. So I don't want to be too serious, but I just, you know, want to make sure that, you know, they know that this is important, you know. And speaking on powerful issues is important, you know. Because people get away from that just by dancing on Twitter and saying, look at me, and we ain't looking at shit, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And I appreciate you saying that. But I don't even know how much longer the regular news is going to last. With that old Walter Cronkite, CNN, and the top story, and blah, 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 blah. And you got to be dead serious in your face, and everybody around knows it. As soon as they say cut, you go, come on, Pam.
Yeah.
What is this dogma? You know what I mean?
All of them got plastic surgery. They look perfect. See, at podcasts like this, they be looking ugly, like, you know, just like Mike. So you don't have to
that was unnecessary, brother. I just came from work. I didn't have time to actually change.
Yeah, like like unshaven.
My janitor jacket has nothing to do with who I am on the inside.
Unshaven. You know, he didn't care. He smells just like a warehouse. I swear to God.
Robert Kane beard look like he just turned it back from a werewolf.
Mike smelled like opening 3 boxes at a time. Mike smelled like a box cutter and gloves.
Robert Kane shaves his head and daydreams about Will Smith sticking up for him.
Y'all silly.
Mike smelled like overtime and checking in with a boss.
That'll do it. That'll do
Now,
it.
what we won't have going on in this Juneteenth is black on black verbal violence.
That's true. At least you got a job. We ain't mad at
Hey,
you. Hallelujah.
what does Juneteenth mean to you, me, us, this community, anybody else's community, America as a whole? What does Juneteenth mean? I know what the definition is if I Wikipedia it. That's not what I'm asking.
I'm not sure. I think it's personal, just like any other.
Like Kwanzaa?
Yeah. Like what does it mean to you, the individual? For me, it's another day off because June 20th, I'm gonna be off. So I bless God for the simple things. It don't take much for me. So I bless God for that. But I do think it's a day. It's another day to recognize our triumph.
Okay.
As black people and as the black community, African American community, whatever you want to call us, right? It's another day to recognize that we made it and that we survived. And then we can also rewrite our narrative. You know, whatever that narrative may be, you can rewrite it, and it opens us up to different black people. So it's
Okay.
not just one spectrum of black. but it's to
Expand on
celebrate.
that when you say different black people.
I mean, you're weird black people. You're not so weird black people. You know them niggas that do the Naruto run? This?
Yeah,
A nigga that run like
A
this.
nigga that run like a Japanese karate man.
And he
Yeah.
ride the skateboard with just 2 wheels. The
Yeah,
one that
yeah,
you did that. Yeah, like
That's funny.
the different categories of black. Just celebrating blackness and
absolutely
all
right.
that we hold and all that we host, all that we start, all that we end, all that we are internally and externally. The culture of it all. Just celebrating that in that day. Unfortunately, is recognized. Not unfortunately. I want to be careful with my words. I said unfortunately because I just think it's wild that we were ever slaves. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
But that's what. So that's what I mean when I say unfortunately. It's a day where we recognize our freedom, right? But it's a day where we recognize our freedom. How free are we? That's a different conversation. But we here, so let's live it up. Let's tear it up like the Mexicans did. I mean,
Nice.
stopping traffic and all. And I love y'all Mexicans. The corn, elote, that's my stuff.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is just the pride of it, like the going after just being proud of being black beyond February, the 28 days in February.
Sure. It's I think it's dope that she brought up the different. Yeah. you were born after 2000, yeah?
No, sir.
You had it.
90s
Don't.
baby.
She's saying that, but it's 99.
Yeah,
It's
it's
November 28th.
December 23rd.
On the last
98.
episode of Fresh Prince, that's when she was born.
December
Actually,
33rd.
She
98.
scrolls by barely.
Yeah.
I think it's dope that she was talking about the different kinds of black people because I know we got to be right around the same age. And growing up, it was quick off the press to say to somebody, be like, why you acting white? This dude ain't black.
You acting
Or
light
this, that.
skinned.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
had that. You acting light skinned.
Nah, acting light skinned didn't come around until New Jack City when Nino Brown stabbed Albie Shore.
Yeah.
Hey, and then it got real
That's
common.
true. It is
But
true.
before that, it would just be
Yeah.
like, man, you ain't black, this, that, and the third. And it occurred to me at one point in time that when somebody's saying that, they ain't necessarily saying you ain't black. Because whatever black folks do, if they do the Naruto run or whatever, then that's what a black person's doing. They acting black. They just doing something that's
They just
goofy.
do it right.
You know what I mean? But that's what black folks do. If somebody's reading
Yeah.
a book, oh, you acting white now.
Right.
What you
Right, we can't read.
You from the Caucasus Mountains now.
Niggas can read.
Yeah.
Look at this
Hey,
nigga.
Yeah, reading ass
Smart
nigga.
nigga.
You getting philosophical
Yeah.
on me something, bro.
Well, let me say this. Look, I'm gonna say this about Juneteenth before you get all the way off.
Yeah,
there.
let me hear it.
I'm gonna say this one thing. They gonna do Juneteenth like they did Memorial Day.
How so?
You know, Memorial Day is a black holiday. Black people started Memorial Day.
I did not know that.
That came from black people wanted to do a funeral for their people who was in the war, and there was no respect for black people in the war. So black people came together and did a funeral. Like 3 weeks later, the black people in the army went and marched to go to that funeral site that they built. Memorial Day was created by black people.
That's crazy.
Honest to God, do your research.
Wow.
But that's the problem. That's the problem with creating stuff that we don't own. You know, there's a white man trying to own the name Juneteenth.
Yeah.
So that's the reason why
Yep.
we don't have, you know what I'm saying? They are ahead of the game so far that we don't even know the game they playing. We got to start getting in the game. So do your research. Memorial Day was a black holiday about black soldiers, and you would never know this to this day.
Nah, not at all.
You just learned me something.
Hallelujah.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Absolutely.
I
Well,
just blew
to
they-
get back
I just
to
blew they
what I
fucking
was,
young ass
no.
minds.
That's crazy. I'm like, whoa, I didn't know that.
Yeah, holiday? Like I would have figured that we would have started
Yeah.
like 4th of July or something like
Nah.
that
I
because
thought
of
you
the
was gonna say
barbecue.
something crazy, like, yeah, that's when Martin Luther King really died. But then they made them wait a year. That's what I thought you was gonna say. I was gonna say, wow, come with
Hey,
it.
come on now.
Yeah.
Come on, somebody. Like in the words of Ronnie
They
Jones.
Come
put
on,
him in a
somebody.
deep freezer, and a year later they could bury him. That's what I thought you was gonna say. Wow.
He moved back to Haiti, and now But
Nah, I'm here for facts and truth. That's it.
when they say, in my mind, when somebody says so and so, such and such ain't acting black, in my mind, they really trying to say you're not acting like hip hop. You're not acting like
You're not
like
acting
you down.
ignorant.
No, I think
ignorant.
it's
I think
you're making me uncomfortable because you're exposing me to something different. See, the human race as a whole, we don't respect difference, which is why white people think that they're superior, right?
Mm-hmm.
But black people, when we don't understand, we think it's less than to say, hey, I don't understand it. Can you explain that to me? Because that's showing you that I don't know something. So you finna put me on to something, right? So, hey, why do you act like that? Or why do you, right? So we rather jump the gun and put a label on you instead of ask you, well, what is that? Well, why did you do the Naruto run? Or why do you you watch all that god doggone anime?
Right.
Or why do you do this, and this? Because it makes us scared. Like, okay, you different. You're not supposed to be different. Because in all honesty, our black brothers, our black ancestors, our black sisters and grandmothers, whatever, when they was different, they got punished for it. So now we programmed to see difference as something that you gonna get punished for. No, don't do that. Don't cross that line. Don't say that. Be this way. Because there's an archetype to how you're supposed to behave. So I feel like that being programmed in us, just like poverty, just like a whole bunch of other stuff that does not benefit the black community, which is why it's few far in between when we have millionaires, somebody that's disciplined enough to do this or disciplined enough to do that. And so, yeah, such and such, so forth and so on. I just think that it is, we're afraid to accept difference sometimes. And I think that hinders the culture sometimes.
And that's crazy because technically we are all different. And by nature, in every sense of the way, we are all unique individuals. There'll never be another one of you, and you are individually unique unless you got a twin, and even then, they're individually unique. So, like, for them to even force that on our people, because white people don't force it on themselves. They don't call what we do bipolar. We call it bipolar. But white people, I'm stop saying white people. Some other people who not black,
The
the colonizers, they could change on the switch. A lawyer act like one way in the law room, act a whole nother way to his wife, just like that.
Well,
Real quick. Cole, you know it, he know it.
Yeah, Cole
but they
switching.
call it bipolar disease with us. So they label you something
Immediately
wrong.
when you're
You know
a
what I'm saying?
child,
You get
elementary
labeled.
school.
You get labeled. So they forcing that in our DNA, in our community. So that's why we gotta unforce it. That's why your generation and our generation kind of started that. The 70s actually kind of started that with that like free world shit, and then they did, and then they let it on, but. It died out when the crack generation happened because
they killed man, baby.
They cracked them out.
Candyman came, killed everybody. It was just so much
and
going
then
on.
on the other end, the drug epidemic. So we just got to get back to thinking the right way.
Well, here's to touch on Joy's point a little bit of what she was talking about, and something that I can't understand. I'm gonna put us in the frame right now and ask you this because something that other cultures have seemed to do that we do the opposite of. So, like, back to what we were saying, where we'll call somebody light skinned in a minute, or we'll be like, "That's Goofy that do the ninja run," right? When it comes, if I ever get into a heated debate, or not even a heated, but if I get into a debate with somebody who's white or Caucasian, right, I'll be quick to ask them what their last name is. Because if it's O'Neal something, if it's Mick or something or whatever, boom,
Irish.
you're Irish. Your ancestors got to the country in the 30s during the potato famine. If your last name is Goldschreck or whatever, if your last name is German, your family came here in the 40s at the earliest. Because of World War II. If your family's Italian, you came over here in probably the late 50s, early 60s. For your situation, if you came from here, there, wherever, right? Really, the white folks with black names like Kyle Jones or the ones that they family's been here as long as our ancestors' families have been. Right. But what they did is they got over here because the Irish wasn't being welcome. If you saw their games in New York and stuff, the Irish wasn't being welcome when they got here. They used to call them potato heads or whatever. You know what I mean? The Germans, they was they wasn't being welcomed in the super duper open arms. The Sicilians, you might as well be half a Negro when you got here. But at some point in time, they were like, hey. Oh, okay. You a little lighter than me. You a little darker than me. It don't matter. Let's all join together and be this thing. Pool our resources. And now we just white. It's the most non-identity / culture on the face of this earth. It means nothing. It's just it's an all-star.
I've never seen the country white.
Never, not once. There's black people, there's Asian people, you know, this and that and the third people, and that's an actual culture that has roots founded in a particular type of person. But white is just a joined together of collective some people that kind of have the same pigment. But why are we doing, like I said, the opposite? Now, I know we like to bag as a culture and snap on each other and, oh, you light, and we can go off on this, that, and the third. But they're not doing that, and the more people you have, the more resources you have, the farther you're gonna go.
Well, they do. They still look at some of the white ones as lesser. Like, to believe it or not, if you was in that culture, you would know. We just don't pay attention to it.
Fair enough.
You know what I'm saying? But you know, they have their hierarchy. Believe it or not.
And they put us on First Street to divert from that happening in their own family.
That's true.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm gonna call it out in this ethnicity or race, so that I don't have to, you know, even the stigmas of other races beyond black people being mistreated by them. It's a diversion. It's projection. Because how you know? You know what I'm saying? How do you know unless you know because you've experienced it? And I think that that's what they go through as well. I think for us as black people, we have to take accountability for certain things, right?
Of course.
And we also have to understand that there is, I'm sorry, I have to take it back to slavery. If I'm trying to be free, right? And you trying to come with me, we most likely gonna get caught together. This they mindset, right? We most likely, I gotta get free first. I can't worry about you two getting free too. I can't come back, you know, because we applaud Harriet Tubman because it wasn't a lot of Harriet Tubmans out there that's going back to get the niggas.
Well,
they
was getting caught. That was the problem.
Yeah,
you know,
that's
so
skilled.
it wasn't
women.
a lot of skilled ones, you know. But yeah, you know, we put it on the back of Harriet Tubman, and that's because the white man refused to tell you that it was so many uprisings. It was so many people. It was so many underground. They refuse to tell you because they lose their power. They lose all power. They can't tell you that the reason why they did this and that is because black people was all over. The reason why Coney Island changed its name, black people own Coney Island. They killed every nigga there to take over this stuff like
Lake
that.
Lanier,
Yeah,
you got the Black Wall Street.
Man, they don't want they are masters at war. So when you think about
masters at genocide,
right? So that's part of war. So they're good at killing your history. So we just have so much history that we supposed to be on top of, but we can't because they destroyed it. You know.
Absolutely.
Well, it usually takes a boiling point because it wasn't just who was Sweetie that sat on the bus? Rosa Parks.
Yeah.
It was Emmett Till. Then it was Medgar Evers.
It was a lot.
And
it was so many. You got Lil
Rock.
Rock.
But I mean, it was all like packed together.
Yeah.
And then boom, when that happened, they was like, all right, enough. This last 2 weeks.
I think what it was is the people.
Nickels.
Yeah, I think black people just got sick. Yeah.
Nickels finna set it up. They had to say that at some point, because they fear us, right? So at some point they like, hey, we gotta give them something so they can shut up, so that they don't realize how much power they actually have.
And by they, who do we think they are?
Folk in charge. Whether it's all the whites or the niggas, the cooning niggas too. That just want a piece of the pie or a piece of peace, so they camouflage themselves in. Come on now, we done seen Judas and the Black Messiah. That's a cinematic representation of what has already been happening. You know what I'm saying? How they know when Harriet was coming back to get the niggas? Because a nigga opened their mouth to say something to Massa so they could get a little bit of piece of the pie. You know what I'm saying? So that's been going on. The Black Panthers, how they know where this man was at?
Well, that take it all the way back to your foundation in religion. I mean, it's in the name, Judas.
Oh,
Right?
for sure.
It's always tattletaling, snitching, diming somebody out, all that. That's a part of the whole. That's been there.
It's an identity crisis. To me, it's an identity crisis. Because if you're secure in who you are, you're okay with the process. You're okay with the wait. You're okay with understanding that us together is better than me just being restless and nickel and diming my way to a point or a position, right? Opposed to just standing with my brothers and sisters and getting there.
I heard that Rosa Parks made hundreds of trips across the Underground Railroad. That's
Rosa Parks?
I mean, Terry Tubman.
I was about to say, damn, she was old. That's why she sat down. She couldn't get up. She was arthritis.
He said,
God.
Terry and Trent's Darby.
Right. But she made, and they say, so she made so many trips and there's so many slaves. They always, the first one was dangerous. So, the 100 and whatever one was dangerous. So, did somebody snitch? I heard she used to line people up and kill ones who want to turn around. So I don't think too many people was snitching on Harriet Tubman.
Harriet Tubman was
black.
punching babies.
I don't think too many people was. I think she just got caught, man. You only gonna last so long, man.
I heard somebody newborn.
Right, yeah. Do it again. What she do?
She beat that.
I'm gonna tell you one more again. Keep that children quiet.
Keep that children quiet. It'll bop your child. You ever see a nigga with a lump on his head? That was a Harriet child.
That's how I got this knot. Hey, I'm gonna start calling this knot on the back of my. You dig the Harry.
You knew I was coming.
You knew I was coming.
I told everybody.
I
Take
told
the tonsils out of every baby before I get here.
Yeah. It was a white woman that told on Harriet. She was hating on him. I
Harriet.
guarantee it was a white woman because white people was helping. Don't get it twisted. We got help. But it ain't nowhere in the world we're going to have in that many basements and none of them white. It's impossible.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. So it was a white woman. I guarantee you, it's gonna come out again, just like Emmett Till's. Some old white lady that's 1,000 years old gonna say, "Well, it was me."
I mean, she gonna speak from the ashes.
Oof.
She gonna speak from the ashes. Why was you even helping Harry? Well, she looked like a pit bull.
She looked like a pit bull
in the bushes.
In the bushes.
I thought she was a demon. I thought I should help the whole time.
Then she hit the baby like.
So hit that baby. I said, how old that baby is? That baby was 1 day old.
It feels like, so what that is in my mind, right, is leadership. And at several points in time through black folks' young existence as a culture on this planet, and not Africans, but black folks, what it's been ever since, Africans were introduced to the United States and then taken away from the culture and now develop a brand new culture from scratch. What that experiment has been coached and cultivated along through leadership. And 9 times out of 8, the blood spilt from that leadership, whether it's through incarceration or actually them getting murdered. Now, these days, this is the leader for everybody, right? Who, if it ain't on here, ain't nobody listening. So do we have, Barack Obama might be the last symbol of leadership in my mind. Like, who else is it going to be outside of an influencer? Is there still room?
I just think that's the new, I think that is the new representation or example of leadership. But I think that influencers, you have Tabitha Brown, who's doing amazing.
Okay.
You have, now whether they influencing for good or bad, that's up for debate. But you have Tabitha Brown. Kanye, in his own right, is an influencer. You have the Carters, who, Beyonce and Jay-Z, they're influencers. So you have a lot of leaders out here, if you will. I think the problem is not enough young people, not enough people in the world understand that they're effective outside of the spotlight. Here's what I mean by that. Everybody wants to be recognized for being whatever, not understanding that you're probably a better administrator than you are a preacher or a pastor.
Man.
Right?
Okay.
Man.
You're probably a better foot soldier than you are a leader or a pastor
Man.
Oh, yeah,
because
yeah.
you have the capacity to do said thing or whatever that you're responsible for doing. When you go into a school building, you have qualified security guards, right? That do
Right.
good at their job. The student then becomes not a good student when they become or try to become a security guard or they try to become the teacher, right? But then the educator's job is to show them, and this is what I love my elementary school. Unfortunately, it's closed down, but what I loved about it was they taught me timing and placement. In
Okay.
addition to what my family was already teaching me. I've been an entertainer my whole life. I always tried to entertain. No matter if it was test time to go home, time to come
Right,
in.
right.
I was trying to entertain.
It's
But
in
they
your- it's in
taught
your soul.
Jordan. Yeah. But what they taught Joy was this is when you do it and this is when you don't do it, right?
Oh, yeah.
You're good at it, but this is when you do it, when you don't do it. We're not teaching the young people that. It's a lot of people that are better scribes than they are vloggers. That pen is dangerous. Write somebody's joke, but you are not a comedian. You know what I'm saying? But we haven't taken the time or the opportunity to say everybody's equal though. How do the BET Awards go if somebody ain't working that camera? If somebody ain't writing that teleprompter?
Sure, yeah.
If somebody ain't did, you know what I'm saying? The show will go on, but we need all those foot soldiers.
Yeah.
But the foot soldiers are seen as less than. So I think since the beginning of time, we ain't put the importance on everybody being important, even though we have different roles. So now you got people, everybody want the spotlight. Everybody want the microphone. Everybody want the opportunity. But that is not, in my terms, that ain't who God created you to be. That ain't what God called you to be. I know a lot of people that want to be rappers, that want to be this, want to be that, but would be amazing at mentoring young black and brown children. That would be amazing at, why are politicians people that we have to settle for? Why do we have to settle for Joe and Kamala, opposed to standing up and saying, I chose them? Most black people's narrative was, well, the lesser of two evils. That's dumb. Opposed to going to your voting poll and saying, I can confidently say I chose this person, right? Because that person exudes this. I think we need to get back to that type of stuff. And then we can build a stronger foundation for where we're trying to go.
You're absolutely right, and I think both of those situations require a leader. For somebody to be a role player, it takes a leader to put them there into that position. It take your Michael Jordan to say, all right, I need you I need you running the 3 spot. I need you down. Hey, big man, get down in the paint type deal. Or else everybody's gonna want to have the ball coming down the court. You know what I mean? Yeah. And also, to be inspired, it takes a leader. I'm wondering what that next form. I'm out of the game. I'm over the hill, Rob. You know what I mean? And if I feel that way, goddamn, judging by your face, you feel twice as old.
I do, but
I'm finished.
I do.
So the next leader that's coming up is definitely going to be my junior. You know, somebody that's under me, and they're gonna master the power of something that I kind of have a grasp on, but they gonna know it inward, outward, upside down, backwards. Do you think the next leader is coming?
I think the next leader is here. I think we got a lot of leaders. I think what we fail. I agree a lot with what Joy was saying, and I think that we failed to realize that in this pandemic, that a lot of young leaders came out. marching for Garner and Floyd, and they was young.
Facts.
It was the young generation. It wasn't the old ones that was out there.
Facts.
And then when you see like even the kids, the Hispanic kids, walking out of school because they saying they teachers can't protect them because they not giving them the simple. They just did that a couple days ago. Just the students organized that. And these was 13 and 10-year-olds. These So this new generation have saw, especially during this pandemic, I think they saw a curve. I think we seeing a curve in the young generation, and I'm starting to love it because it's they really, really young. Even to my niece, she wrote a thing just about the marching. You know, so they all been writing about it in school and learning about it, and they know what's going on and they feeling it. They out there.
Facts.
It was a lot of 3, 4, 5, 6, 7-year-olds out there yelling and marching. They ain't gonna never forget that. That'll never leave their memory ever.
Me growing up, there was definitely riots, but there wasn't no marching. It skipped that generation. It was the generation before. Then our generation
Did you
was
go
like
to the
watch
Million Man
riots.
marches though?
You know what? I was actually. I
No,
don't
he
even think I
didn't.
was in
You know what?
Nah. I won't even in the country when it happened. I won't even in the country when it happened.
He leaned way back. You know what?
I had to think. I wasn't even in the country.
Oh no. I'm just playing.
Nah, you're absolutely right. And they did the Million Man more, didn't they?
They did. They did the Million Woman March too. They was trying it, but it started to fall out.
Yeah. Farrakhan got to be in his early hundreds.
Man, thousands.
That's the only
Still
nigga
fried,
older than
died,
Morgan
laid
Freeman.
to the side.
Right.
He the only one older than Morgan Freeman.
And he's still yelling.
That's the only nigga.
And he be getting his hair permed and dyed. It be looking whipped.
Wow.
I be like, man.
He say, hey,
Wow,
I don't know why he's not number 7 on every barbershop poster.
Hey, shout out to Farrakhan fighting all these years for at least something. Because, you know, we need something, man. To be honest, we need options. And to have someone that's fighting for a separate option, them brothers, man, they be disciplined.
Leaders.
Anytime they all leaders. You know, you can't take that away.
Discipline.
We be trying to, they teach us to hate that. It's so funny, man, because I'm not Muslim. I didn't really join no religion. You know, honestly, like I hear about religion and I kind of cringe, but I'm very spiritual. I love God and I love people. And I know that those brothers do their thing for a community and self, and I respect that.
Yeah.
That's all I can say.
And
because I don't want to die, because, you know, they be looking at shit. They be looking at
You gonna walk out of here and gonna be a brother in a trench coat in 72
and he gonna smother
degrees.
you with a pie. What?
Standing with his arms crossed in front of him.
what you say about my honorable Elijah.
He gonna have a telephone cord thing in his
This
ear.
the nigga that eat bacon. What the receipt say, Robert?
What does it say?
We see it.
We see it.
4 packs of bacon. What?
I smell it in your skin.
The pork is in the jello pudding, brother.
It's facts though. You got amazing leaders. Nowadays, I know one personally. Her name is Ashley Munson.
Okay.
And since the George Floyd 2020, she led a march on Juneteenth. Hundreds came out. I kind of want to say thousands, right? Came out, marched downtown. And she does it annually every year. I'm not sure if she's doing it this year because I haven't really seen anything about it. But she's been doing it. And now her social media just promotes awareness. Yeah.
There's actually something to that. So author I love is Malcolm Gladwell, right? He wrote Outliers, and he also wrote this other book called The Tipping Point. And in The Tipping Point, he was talking about different characteristics, different classes of people, and one of them was like a maven. And what a maven is somebody that attracts people. Like, well, who was it that said the British are coming? Well, like Paul
Revere.
Right? Everybody knows that name. That just rings bells or whatever, right? The whole time, there was a whole nother dude that had the same message, and at the same exact time Paul Revere got that message, he just rode in the opposite direction and yelled at all those people. Only thing is that he was a goofy. Nobody liked him. And then when Malcolm Gladwell was explaining it in the book, he was like, Paul Revere was at all the barbecues. He was fixing niggas' horses or whatever he was doing. He was like help planting trees. He was, you know what I mean? Like he was at the school events or whatever. And so everybody knew him, liked him, and so now history remembers that. And I can't even remember the other dude, and nobody else does, right? The fool.
Went in the other direction.
The doofus.
The
Who did the exact same thing. Shout out to him because it worked out. But he just didn't have no publicity. Now, you see that translate in today. Like your socials is going bananas. Like you were talking about it. You was doing 40-something odd thousand. So there's something in you. Is it just the characteristics of somebody that's successful or gets traction on social medias? What do you see in that in yourself or in other people?
Probably consistency for one. I'm nowhere near as consistent as I need to be as it pertains to like my social media content, which is something I'm working on. But the other people that you see, it's consistency. It's consistency and it's a talent for it. So you have people, Trevor Noah. He's an entertainer, but he's not a goofy, silly, comedian, if you will. It's facts. Charlemagne the God, facts, different stuff like that. And Scotty Beam. Scotty Beam, she's a beautiful black female. She's from the East Coast. A beautiful black woman from the East Coast. And she's not funny. So some of the stuff that she says is funny. But her following came up. She had Scotty Feedback, which was a music platform at first. But now she is a voice for the culture. So I think that you have to be graced for it. It's something called grace. And grace is like a supernatural ability to do whatever you're doing. Like preachers have the grace. Farrakhan had a grace. King had a grace. Malcolm X had a grace. I think you have to find your grace, and once you found your grace, continue to activate it. It's like a gift. You can make it better. God gave it to you. So I think that's what it is, because fools go viral. People just go viral for no reason in this day and age. You see a lot of stupidity on TikTok in particular. Like
some places you just don't even know what's gonna go up. There's a comic on the scene. I don't know if you know, buddy. I can't remember his name for the life of me. He went to he must have went to the Chipotle off of something, and they wouldn't give him. They messed up his order. Wouldn't change it. He got on his TikTok. It might have been 30 seconds long. He was like, I hate this Chipotle off of whatever street downtown. Here's their the bathroom code. And I stole their hot sauce. A day and a half later, 10 million.
Yeah.
10 million.
10 million.
10 million. And catch you see, and then the rest of it. I mean, he be on TikTok or whatever, but it won't never like that.
Yeah.
And then next thing it was one of those virals where he had to get on, and his next video was, I ain't had no idea that was about to go.
I had no idea.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like,
sure.
I don't know what y'all this is what you want. This is what you want. You want the
every
bathroom codes to all of them.
I'm at Popeyes. Love these niggas at Popeyes.
Can you find the auntie from Popeyes now? What? And they're gonna run them in.
Try my 27 herbs and
I tried all the 37 spices and herbs at Popeyes bathroom. Their code is 3232.
But people be liking stuff like that.
Packs.
People be going for stuff like that.
Yeah.
Well, it's so many kids. Yeah, a lot of people
It
not
is.
realizing how many children is on the internet watching that. And then you got other countries. They just trying to see what's going on in America too, and it's an algorithm too.
For sure.
There's a full-on algorithm.
Oh my goodness! I can't. My video will get 500,000. Right. Next video, 20 views. How?
Yeah.
This stuff it's crazy. Y'all can go through my TikTok and you will see every other video. Thousands, hundreds.
Yeah.
Thousands, hundreds, millions, thousands, hundreds, half the song, millions. Like and it's like, yo,
What is famous these days? Because me and Robert, when I say famous, we have an idea in our head. I think me and you on the same wave. When I think famous, the way I knew it when I was growing up, it's Eddie Murphy. That's Jean-Claude Van Damme for a hot second.
Van Damme
You know what I'm
was the
talking
shit,
about?
right?
Yeah. Like that.
Yeah.
That's like famous to me. These days, I think that definition a little changed. You know.
Well, they put words in front of like Instagram and TikTok.
Ah.
It used to just be
True that.
famous.
Yeah,
Now
yeah,
it's
so
Instagram
influencer.
famous, TikTok famous.
So is famous still like famous?
Nah.
But like these other ones is like.
I only thing I've seen, like I be out with these influencers, some of them every once in a while, and people every once in a while do, but I've been around famous people, and no, it's a whole different world when you really famous.
when you in the
There's a
when you
certain,
in the
there's a
game
certain,
for
there's a
real,
certain
yeah.
bravado
Yeah,
or
it's
whatever
a
they
whole
call it. There's a
different
certain,
world.
yeah.
Now, old girl, the little porn girl who got all the views on TikTok. Now, you see her, all the dudes be like,
yeah.
she famous.
Yeah.
She's famous.
You gonna get
but-
5K to show up to whatever club.
Yeah. So because people actually recognize her, so it depends on the level of someone recognition. Really, that's where fame go.
What blows my mind is the kind of famous, the kind of famous that is so famous somebody gets famous off of pretending to be you famous.
Yeah.
I attribute famous to being in when you can back up your exposure with actual talent and gifts.
Yeah.
Right?
That's
so
legit.
like
That's hot. Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to tread lightly. But I'm a comedian on social media opposed to I am a stand-up comic that can fill a room based upon my jokes and not just the stardom or my notoriety, right? I'm also known for, such and such and such and such.
Yeah.
Like, Beyonce, you're going to get a show.
Oh, yeah.
Right? But her impersonators, they're just known for sounding or looking like Beyonce. So you ain't gonna get you're not gonna get no appearance. You ain't getting no work
No.
for that, So people can aspire to be famous all they want to, but unless you got that work to go with it,
Yeah.
you just out here. You
Well,
wasting
you,
your time.
You also need a Halloween mask. If you get a Halloween mask, you famous.
Yeah, that's like presidents and
they be you for Halloween. You famous as hell.
They,
You
they
a
might have
character.
they might have a
Yeah.
Kevin Hart mask out there somewhere.
I think they
Somebody
do.
somewhere,
I think
yeah,
they do.
somewhere they
I
got
think they
it.
do.
You from that generation where you can't just be one thing anymore. Like me growing up, I could have dreamed to just be a comic, and then that changed when the internet and phones went
And became a
left,
janitor.
and now you got
And you became a janitor.
It's just the jackets. But at some point in time, you have to have I am this / that / this / whatever.
I beg to differ. Y'all definitely started that. Master P.
Yeah, we
that
started
nigga,
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
got
started
it from y'all.
Mm-hmm.
That nigga,
It was everything.
a philanthropist,
Yeah.
had a whole college.
I'm the colonel of the motherfucker.
He was a whole basketball player.
Yeah,
And
Charlotte.
still talking about where the hot boys at. Like, that man, you got Diddy.
I remember watching I'm About It and saying I'm never going to New Orleans a day in my life.
Yeah, like movie, all that stuff. So
Yeah.
we definitely picked that up from y'all's generation.
Yeah.
And then perfected
Yeah,
it.
because the generation before us used to always say, you gotta master one thing. If you do too many, you're gonna be a jack of one trade. You can't master none. And
Yeah.
I thought that was always stupid because God said you could do all things through Christ. And
Yo.
all
Shit.
things
Hello?
means everything that God put in my mind to do.
You're
can do.
a regular host at one of the premier clubs in I think like the 7th largest economy on planet Earth, and that is Riddle's Comedy Club. Look,
Wow.
you see the way I pumped that up.
I see.
And
Amazing.
now at the same time though, you have any number from the hottest comedian in the game doing it to brand new up and coming rising stars, and then of course these social media / comedians. The opposite of what she was just talking about, where social media influencer is first, and then hey, I got a following. Let me try this comedy thing out. What have you noticed about those folks coming in?
Make it plain, Robert Kane.
From the social media aspect.
Yeah.
I learned. Well, the first thing I learned is that you can learn from them. Because again, this is show business. The show is the smallest part of the word. Business is double the size of the show, and if you get your business right, you'll be ready. I noticed that they had their business right, but they didn't have the show part right, and they needed us for the show still. So what I learned was to learn from them, figure out what they was doing, figure out how they do it, and then book them, and then put comics on the show with them so that they could have somebody to go with them. So my thing was collaboration, inclusion, because it's still entertainment. And if the crowd is who pays us. If the crowd want to see it, then I want to do it. That's the bottom line. That's the industry I'm in. And why keep booking people that can't fill a room when the audience is begging me to book?
That won't share a flyer.
Yeah, that won't share a flyer. When the audience is begging to book somebody who they gonna pay for, and that flyer that social media person gonna promote the shit off that show.
Yeah.
And it's just a thing that we just got to get away from. It's like we said earlier. The social media comic is comedy, man. It's always people that's gonna not be funny, and we try to call them social media comics, but it's some comics that been doing comedy 15 years and still ain't funny.
My God.
So why I'm gonna be mad at somebody who been influencing for a year, got a whole crowd they can go across the country and make money off of. And yeah, they not as funny, but they put me on the show, they'll put you on the show. All you gotta do is ask. But comics are afraid of those people and so mad at them, they won't use it to their advantage. Man, you're supposed to use everything on this earth to your advantage. God told you that, and that's the last Bible quote. I'm gonna give you.
That's the last one. Come on, Pastor Kane.
Hey, he kind of like he about to walk out the room. He's like, hey, always leaving one more. I've been Robert Kane.
He's just like a pastor, lying, cause something else gonna wrap up. You gonna quote God again, Robert Kane.
If he would have said chapter and verse, I was all right. Yeah, that's
I'm
it.
gonna close in 5 minutes, but I'm gonna say this. Oh, I got something else to say.
I'm preaching better than y'all talking.
Huh?
Start clapping right now. Start clapping right now for what I just said. Robert Kane.
Hilarious.
Facts. That's what I love about Robert Kane, though.
Yeah, he come with it.
That's what I love about Robert Kane. Like, he gives people chances, and he is not intimidated about the different presentations of the gift of comedy.
Yeah.
You cannot covet the gift that ain't yours.
Yeah.
Right.
You can't do that.
Right.
Why not collaborate?
Nah.
Why not reach out to this young brother and sister and say, if Corey Bell did not reach out to, I would not be doing stand-up. Corey Bell met me on Clubhouse. My Clubhouse name said comedian, but now it says stand-up comedian. But it said comedian because I landed a whole bunch of comedic roles. I was known for a lot of comedy in the stuff that I wrote and participated in as it pertains to theater, right?
Yes.
But Corey Bell recognized something in me, and she did not discourage me. She hit me one Saturday and said, hey, what you doing? On Instagram. We didn't have each other's number yet. What you doing tonight? Nothing. She was at Laugh Factory for all 3 shows. She said, hey, meet me at Laugh Factory. Introduced me as a comedian, funny as hell. That's what she kept saying. And then I'm shaking because I'm like, why is this woman doing this?
Yeah, of course.
Why is this woman doing this? She's never asked me for anything. But she took that Robert Kane approach because Corey Bell is one of the most selfless people I've ever met. She took that approach and she gave me a chance because she saw something. And then she helped me with my jokes. And then she helped me with my stage presence. Then she allowed me to come to all of her shows and watch and benefit from her. But we can't covet the gift that don't belong to us. Because at the end of the day, when you die, you want to die empty. You want to die knowing that people younger than you, I will never not forget Robert Kane gave me my first show at Riddle's Comedy Club, which is a staple for comedy in Chicago. I say Riddle's, and they automatically say, "Oh, Damon Williams." Oh, they start spitting off celebrities. I get the benefit from the legacy of this place because of Robert Kane.
No, that's because of you.
I appreciate that.
I have the venue, but you earned it.
No,
Thank you.
Robert Kane definitely looks and talks like a professional pickpocket, but he anytime, no, he definitely look like Sergeant Shoplifter. But whenever he's talking, he always has a smile on his face, and he's always in a positive vibe, even if whatever he has is going on. I saw him performing at Riddles not too long after his brother had passed, and he was talking about it on stage, but he wasn't like trying to capitalize on nothing. He was just actually talking like, hey, this is what what an actual true blue comic does, which is try and work through their life, but on the stage. And then he brought it back and blessed the audience with, well, hey, here's something to make you smile. I just told you about the real life, but here's something to make you smile as it pertains to my brother, and sent his name up, which I thought was dope. And that's not an easy ability. Sometimes I wear my "I don't like you" on my face so prominent. You know what I mean? It's in my nose. It's in my nostrils. It's hard for me to hide.
When they flare?
Yeah, when I start looking like the Schlitz-Malt liquor bull.
You start looking like Ice-T on New Jack City.
Pookie, why you doing that to me, Pookie? You got that Pookie look.
They want to kill me. Stupid.
But I think it's dope that whenever I've seen him, he's always been professional. I've seen him give people with little to no names or recognition. He's giving them spots. He's giving them opportunities. I mean, he's a good brother to know. I check my pockets every time I shake his hand. And I
ain't
never
got much.
Yeah, I look over my shoulder until he's out of sight. That's a definite rule.
I was gonna steal a rubber band out your hair,
Yeah.
But it's musty. So
Y'all are on the road tonight.
Yeah, we had a meeting about it before you came in. He was like, "Yeah, watch the rubber band be musty," and then you walked in. And
And a fragrance.
I've never seen a nappier goatee in my life, but it's the fact that he's positive.
Yeah,
he's a positive person.
He is. He has such a father's heart. And I appreciate that about him. I appreciate that about Leon Rogers.
Yeah.
I appreciate these men and women. Niche. That lady.
You almost called her a bitch.
No.
What? She saved my life.
No.
She saved my life.
She did. That lady said, come with me. Put me on stage. Took me out of town.
Yeah.
They don't covet the gifts. And that's what I appreciate. But the ones that have influence in Chicago, God is so good that y'all don't do it. Because it's a lot of bitter niggas in comedy.
Man, it is.
But
show business. It's bitter. There's bitter ass
the
people
ones
in show
that got
business,
influence, the ones that have rooms, the ones that know what they talking about, the ones that I ain't never seen bomb. I can confidently say that. Those are the ones that God has given that has elevated them. Bar 10 is a dope place.
Shout out to Leon. Actually, when you talk about what I'm doing, it did come from that generation. When I first started, like D-Ray he took us under his wing at Riddles the first time when it was back in 2000 and 2001, 2003, 2004. And then Leon was the first person to take me on the road, Indianapolis. Dion Cole used to take us under his wing, and Damon Williams every freaking week would say, "Come on out, here's a spot." He was the gatekeeper to letting people on Def Jam and BET's Comic View.
Legendary.
It's a culture that I come from, and when I left the game, it was like a lot of those cultures, a lot of the comedians that was doing it had left, and then the game had left. So it was only down to the few that could, and it's beautiful that Niche and Corey's and Leon's are still here to hold the torch, because I think Bernie Mac actually started a lot of that. He used to help. Bernie Mac used to help a lot of people. He
did. He pulled, in my eyes, he's like the same as Michael Jordan get over you, but say like Allen Iverson, or even say like a Steph Curry. The game was a certain way up to a point. Then this person came along, and now the game different.
So different.
And when Bernie Mac came, before that it was Eddie. Before that it was Pryor. The comedy was a certain way.
Before that it was Mom's Mabley.
Yeah, and then after boom, things had to change. You had to the bar got.
Mm-hmm. 90s comedians?
Yeah.
Yeah, they took it and ran.
Oh my God.
To bring it back to the beginning of the conversation, I remember the first episode I was watching with Mama and them. The first episode, Monique came out in that black outfit on Def Comedy Jam.
With them shoulder pads.
With the shoulder pads, and she had the hair popped up.
Yes.
And she was talking about, I like when you pop it up and can't say it. Bam. I got you. Like, she set that stage off on fire. When Bernie Mac came out there and did his,
Kick it!
When Chris Tucker got up there and did his thing, you was like, oh.
I ain't scared of these.
This is a different thing.
With
like,
that
you
spray
gotta,
paint on, that was so Chicago.
That was so Chicago.
Nobody in the history of the universe comes out on TV with their own face spray painted on their damn jeans.
That's some Chicago. That's some South. That's some Chicago. Period. West Side, South Side, East Side.
Chicago
that's Chicago
business right
for you.
Man, look at that. Don't get the label on there. We still looking for sponsors.
Said, don't get the label. Yeah, I got a drink, because
you ain't got to tell me about your trials and tribulations.
So late.
I mean,
you were so late.
Pastor said, "Hold on."
You were so late that it's almost midnight now.
Show. Don't nobody know what they don't know. This is a green screen. I'm about to.
You gonna change time?
I'm about to turn you into Bill Duke and post.
Hey, you don't know what I'm gonna do to this. I love it. Just like I love Chicago, man. And you doing your thing out here.
I love it.
I'm
trying to stay busy.
Podcasting.
Just trying to stay busy.
You got the improv show. And
just trying to stay busy, having fun with that, man.
You always buying mops for your janitor job.
Fair enough. I thought he was going to try and bring it over to the hair, but you know what I mean? He knew that was going to be an easy loss for him.
Yeah, I like the hair. I love the hair.
He want to borrow it. I said,
you got a hairline. I ain't mad at you.
That's why when he said he was gonna steal your rubber band, I'm like, "Where you going, Robert? Where you going?" I can't save you. I can't save you, big bro.
I'm from the bald head whole generation. My hair only grows so little. The rubber band be a little.
I'm gonna sell you two at a time and Swisher Sweet packages. You can buy them on layaway. You can borrow them for the weekend.
Yeah,
Foolish.
We getting about to that time. I want to leave a little space to make sure that you guys are letting these fine folks, the viewing audience at home or wherever they may be watching this. Go ahead, Joy. Why don't you let them know a little bit about what you got going on, where they can find you, what you got going on your socials, your future plans, goals, etc., and how they can vote for you at the booth during this upcoming election.
Next election. Congresswoman Joy.
Who your running mate's gonna be?
Congresswoman Pastor Deaconess.
Congresswoman Pastor.
Well, you can follow me on all social media platforms at Joy Gamby, JoyGamby. I have a monthly clean comedy open mic at Riddle's Comedy Club, located in Alsip, Illinois. Produced by Robert Kane, my big brother, sitting to my left, my right, to the right now. Okay, cool. And you can just look out for me on my social media. I'm
everywhere.
Blessed.
The social media is
so
blown.
Blessed to be everywhere. Sometimes out of state, sometimes in state. But yeah, I'm blessed to have a lot of shows coming up. And I'm gonna speak it. Y'all gonna see me on Wildin' Out soon.
Hallelujah.
And y'all gonna see me on daytime TV, nighttime TV. I'm coming for Fox Soul. Everywhere. My goal is everywhere. Yes. I'm
leading the youth
not
movement.
just Chicago. Yeah. So listen, being an influencer to the influencer. So God is good. God is great. Let us thank Him for our food. Be you, the best you. There's only one you, and the world needs you.
Now, Robert Kane, why don't you take a moment to let these folks know what you're doing when you're not pretending to be DJ Jazzy Jeff? in your off time. Let them know. Let them know how these folks can follow you. What your shows that you got going on. I know you got shows in town, out of town. How they can find you on socials, man.
Oh man, check me out. Every Sunday I'm at Riddle's Comedy Club. That's 5550 West 111th Street in Alsop, Illinois.
Yes,
We hosting every Sunday 8 o'clock show. And like Joy said, every first Sunday we do a clean comedy show. We trying to change the narrative.
Say that.
Trying to bring some fresh, clean comedy. Try to get these black comedians on some of these white shows. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
We gotta, change the game a little bit. But then also I do a Thursday night once a month. It's an improv show. It's like a versus battle. So I bring different improv troops from across Chicagoland, and they battle with their different sketches. And then at the end they do a battle with freestyle improv. So it's a lot of fun. It's cool. We bring the battle back and improv back to comedy. And then after that, we do a comedy show with the improvers who actually do stand-up. And then I host once a month in Arizona. And right now, we're going to be at JP's Comedy Club. And we are at the Paramount Theater as well. So on Fridays, we at Paramount, and then Saturdays, we at JP's Comedy Club in Arizona. Well, that's in Gilbert, Arizona. And then, I know y'all are like, Jesus. And once
No, we love it. Black excellence.
brother.
Keep going.
Once a month, I'm in Vegas at, we at Digi World on Fridays, and then we at the Copacabana on Saturdays, and then we at the Patio nightclub on Sundays. And we're trying to get the Palms back. We was at the Palms, so hopefully we'll be back there. And we getting another spot downtown, but I'm just be producing like 5 shows in Vegas. I won't really be there, but once a month. So it's just the industry out there asking for me. So it's weird, but I accept it. So,
Amen.
We just gonna keep going, gonna keep moving, and try to get more comics on the shows and enjoy it. And shit, I think that's
How they did you already pump your socials?
Oh yeah, I did not. Also my social media, I got a website. It's www.robertkaneent.com. Go there, you can get on all my socials. My Instagram is Kane5006 and Robert Kane, Kane on Facebook. Okay. I got shirts, hoodies, T-shirts. I got females, 2 tops. I got socks. We selling everything. Robert Kane. If you buy any of my merchandise, it's a ticket to my shows. You get in free. So you buy a shirt, you buy a hoodie, you could get I think I got 70 shows. No.
Well, if you got your
62 shows a year, you get all 62 for free with one shirt.
If you got your websites and your pictures and everything in order, then right about here is where that stuff is gonna be flashing across the screen to make it easy. And then wait, I think you got something else major coming up too. Are you talking about that out loud yet?
What happened?
Ain't you in a competition something like that?
Oh, I was in the so it's a competition, the World Series of Comedy competition. We did the first round.
Okay.
We trying to see what's going on. The last round is in Vegas. We'll be at the MGM Grand. So we did the first round in Myrtle Beach a couple weeks ago. Okay. It went amazing. So we gonna see how that turned out. Definitely in the competition. It ain't that I ain't talking about it. It's just this a black crowd and that's a white competition.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Y'all niggas don't know what I'm talking about. What y'all talking about? Yeah, this is that. But it's a dope competition because it's a lot of bookers from the improvs.
Okay, so it's networking to the max.
Huge networking opportunities. So I'm just trying to get more opportunities for my people to get into these different venues. Yeah. And they liked the fact that I had a clean comedy show, so they thought, to bring me on. And I did all raunchy jokes, so it was amazing.
I told you. He pulled the okie doke. Hey, once again, I'm Mike Knight. That's Mike Knight Comedy on all the things. I truly appreciate each and every one of y'all for tuning in to the Real Rap Podcast, your number one source for comedy news, interviews. I am Mike Knight Comedy on all the things. Make sure you were hitting that like button, that share button, that subscribe button. Hit the bell so you get notifications. I'm coming at you every week. I'm bringing you guests like this. What more do you want? It's the Real Rap Podcast. Love y'all. Peace.
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 Mike, man, you
It's a wrap.
great from the south side.
It's a wrap.
Mike, man, I'm just so happy to be here right now. The Real Rap Podcast.